Greetings fellow earthlings, welcome back to my magazine show Super Genki, where the limits are, there are no limits. My name is Jerry and this is my channel. Today in this video I'm going to share with you one of my delicious vegan recipes, which is one of my own recipes. I don't follow recipes. I mean, I take inspiration from recipes, but I'm going to eyeball this one. I know it will taste delicious. I've cooked it loads of times. So if you're interested to see what I'm going to cook and you're interested to pick up some of my ideas, then please keep on watching. Vegans are very hungry people, so you came to the right place for a nice hearty meal. Yes, it's November 2019 and it's the perfect time for having one of those meals that basically just fills you up, makes you feel good, and it doesn't take too long to prepare or cook. So let's have a look at the ingredients and follow me this way. So here are the ingredients for my vegan shepherd's pie. I will go through them one by one. So I have about 3 potatoes in here, peeled and ready for boiling. There is some tomato paste. There's a vegan stock cube. There's some baby carrots. And we have a couple of cloves of garlic, some soy sauce, some pepper, some dairy-free spread, some olive oil, some mixed herbs, some chopped tomatoes in tomato juice, some coarse sea salt, and some frozen peas which have defrosted, and 1 small chopped onion. I have a couple of roasted sweet potatoes. So I'm going to actually incorporate both of these potatoes together to have a very unique sweet potato mash. And I also have one more ingredient, and that ingredient I'm just taking out of the fridge, and that is some vegetarian meat-free mince, and this is made with soya, and I'm not going to put this amount in. I'm probably going to put maybe, I don't know, 1/4 of the bag. I'll see how it goes as I cook, because you know, I don't really measure, and you know, a good cook knows what to put in the bowl, and you know, you taste as you go along. But I've cooked this meal many times, so I'm very confident that it will come out wonderful, and I'm looking forward to sharing it with you. So those are the ingredients. I will also put the ingredients in the box below this video, and I will try to basically say a cup of this, or you know, a certain amount, so it's easier for you. But the video's here, so that's the idea of it, so I can share my recipe with you. And remember, recipes are just ideas, they're just basics. You know, once you know the basics, basically that's when you have fun. That's when you start getting creative in the kitchen, and you bring on your best Jamie Oliver, your best Nigella, whoever. It's your kitchen, it's your recipe, you do what you want. Just take inspiration. At the end of the day, as long as it's healthy and delicious and it makes you feel good, it's all good. Let's get this party started. First things first, as we say in the UK, put the spuds on. So some hot water with the potatoes, and a nice amount of salt in there. I like using the coarse sea salt. I think it has a better taste, and I don't like any of the chemicals they mix with the other ones. So spuds on. I'm using some olive oil, a few glugs of olive oil. Yes, glug is a measurement. You can use any oil of your choice, vegetable oil, I don't know, nut oil, whichever of your preference. I just like olive oil. I think it's very healthy, and I like it to be organic. It's just as good for your skin as it is your body. So let that oil coat that pan, and just give it a few seconds to heat up. First thing in is the chopped onion. Oh, I love that sizzle sound. I just love it. What I do is always just give it a stir, just so I coat the onion in the oil and then just leave it to cook. It's not a stir fry, and I let that cook for 2 to 3 minutes until it becomes translucent. The onions have been cooking for a few minutes and they're becoming nice and fried there. So the next item I'm going to put in is the soya milk. So get all of that in there, and I like to give that a stir to mix everything. Now a lot of people would have put the garlic with the onions, but garlic can burn very quickly, and I like to put the garlic in just before I add any of the wet ingredients. So get all that oil and those onions intermingled and married together. There we go. Then I like to use some soy sauce. I'm using the gluten-free one here, tamari. So I put just a few glugs of that in there. And this browns the mince and flavours it and gives it a more sort of barbecued flavour. So just want to give that a couple of minutes. I make a little space in the middle, put the 2 cloves of chopped garlic in the middle. And let them fry for a minute or so. There we go, you can mix it all in. Now I'm going to put in some tomato paste. I'll say about a tablespoon. And I'm going to use a little bit of the water from the spuds to take some of that glaze from the bottom of the pan there. That's filled with flavour. There we go. And the starch in the water is really good for the cooking process here. A little bit more. Perfect. Now I'm going to put in the chopped tomatoes in tomato juice. I've also put some sugar in there to take away the acidity of the tomatoes. Oh, look at that, beautiful in the juices there. Give that a nice mix. Yes, very nice. Look at how vibrant the colours of that is already. That looks fantastic. And then I'm going to put in some mixed herbs. Not too much, I don't want it to overpower, but just enough to add to the flavour. Mix that through. Then I'm going to add in the vegan stock cube. Already smelling delicious. That's thickened up beautifully there. So I take the can of tomatoes, fill it with hot water, so any juices that are stuck on the pan will also be infused and mangled and mingled into the lovely mixture. Great. So before I put the carrots and the peas in, I'm just going to let that for about 5 minutes thicken up, and then I'm going to have a little taste and see if there's anything else needed to add to it. It's tasting really, really good. I'm just going to turn down from a high heat down to a low of 3. I'm going to add a little salt. And usually I would put 2 stock cubes in this, but I only had 1, so I'm going to put some gravy granules in. I'm just going to put probably a dessert spoonful, and that will also help with a nice flavour and thickening up the mixture. This has been cooking for 10 minutes on a lower heat, and look how luxurious and luscious, look how gorgeous that looks. I've just tasted it and it tastes absolutely delicious. And I know what you're thinking, shouldn't those spuds be done by now? Yes, they should be, but I put it on the wrong heat and it was like on like 1 or something, so excuse me. Yeah, but it doesn't matter because this is going to take another 10 minutes. So now I'm going to add in the carrots. And the peas. Look at those beautiful, vibrant, luscious colours. Give that a nice stir. So I'm going to cover that. I'm going to put it on the back burner. One important thing when you're cooking these sweet potatoes, make sure they're cool before you scrape out the sweet potato flesh, because they get very hot and you can burn and scald yourself. So, very, very lovely. Just roasting them caramelizes them and brings out all the delicious sweetness. The skins can also be eaten. They're filled with vitamin C, as is the sweet potato. Such a gorgeous vegetable. See, look how nice that comes out. All caramelized and succulent. Here we have the potatoes and the sweet potatoes, and look at that steam coming off that food. Doesn't that look very inviting? I can't put my extractor fan on because it will be too noisy and it will spoil the whole effect of this video. So I'm going to put some dairy-free spread in, about that much. Then a good amount of salt. I'm just going to crush it up because it's coarse. Yeah, if you don't have dairy spread but you have a plant-based milk, you could add a small amount of that to cream it up. But I've just remembered I do have a soya cream here. So just for the total decadence and luxury of it all, I'm just going to add a drizzle of that as well. But that's optional, just showing you what you can do when you've got the things around you. Now, give me that masher. Give me that masher. This is the good part. If you've had a hard week, someone's annoyed you, and you want to release all that pressure and stress, get mashing, baby. Get mashing. Oh yes. That is perfect. No more seasoning needed. What I'm going to do though is just get a fork and whisk through to make sure that that dairy spread is combined nicely. Here I have a pan, And I've put some silicone gel in here, and you don't have to do that. It's just that the bottom of my pan here is not as salubrious as I would like it to be. So let's gently pour in our delicious filling. Ooh, look at this. Absolutely lovely. Look at that. Perfect. I also put some black pepper into the mash, as I forgot to do that before, but of course that's optional depending on whether you like black pepper or not. So let's crown this beauty. Let's get that all in there. And then a fork to spread out and crown this little masterpiece of deliciousness. Yes, I'm making a mess, only because of how the camera is positioned for me to get this angle to film. So but hey, there's always going to be mess in the kitchen when one is cooking, especially the washing up, which you guys don't have to do, but then you don't get to taste this, do you? Unless you make it for yourself or someone makes it for you. There we go. Let's, it's sort of covered there. And just put some little grooves with the fork. That always looks very lovely when it's fully cooked. Look at this. Look how wonderful this looks. Now this is going into the middle of the oven at 180 for 25 minutes, and I'll see how the top is, and if I want the top is not as crispy as I want it, then I just put it under the grill for 5 minutes just to crisp it up and make that sort of top crust. And voila! Here we have the main event, the finished article. I ended up cooking it for half an hour in the oven, and then I put it under the grill for 10 minutes so it would get all that sort of charcoal sort of crust on top. So there's only one thing left to do, and that's to cut myself a portion and have a taste. As you can see, this would feed 4 to 5 people depending on the portion size. You could have it with a nice salad, and it's even going to be beautiful cold. So here we go. The moment of truth. Oh, look at that lovely, gorgeous filling there. Oh, so rich. See, that's a really great portion. So, all that's left for now is for me to taste it. So, it's cooled down and it's ready to taste. It smells so delicious. Now the moment of truth. Oh, that is so good. So delicious, so flavoursome. Oh, that is really good. If you try this, please let me know how it turned out and what you thought about it. It's my pleasure to share this with you. And food is love. Food is love, especially when you're sharing it. So I hope you enjoyed that video. This is the first recipe of many to come, and yeah, over the next few weeks I'm going to share some delicious cakes and vegan treats and things. So keep posted, and remember, subscription is optional. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. I've got a lot of washing up to do here, but I've still got some left here. I'm going to put some of it in the freezer, and yeah, so I can have it when I want. But usually when I make food, I share it and I give it to people, you know, that I know in my neighbourhood. And yeah, I like to share food, and for people to enjoy your food and give you the compliment back, as well as just like a little gold star. Makes you feel really good, warm and fuzzy inside. Anyway, guys and girls, take care, look after yourself, have a great week, and I shall see you soon. Lots of love. Bye.